Like my former boss, Paul Morgan, would say when I would arrive for work. Good afternoon. And it was pretty close to that, but it was his way of saying, what are you doing? So I have a very interesting video. If you're watching right now, I've encouraged you to instantaneously, with me, thank our one true creator, Sophia, beyond Orion. She's in you right now. So, boom, that was very good, because I know you did. And I know it felt good. It made your heart feel good. So, I'm going to dedicate this information to Dolores Cannon. You'll find out. And to Dr. Stephen Greer, who's been integrated into this particular video quite nicely by Dorothy Sheldon. And I will be happy to add her hyperlink to the description. So to do this probably the best way possible, I'd like to say that to accommodate the intent of Sophia, our one true creator that's in you, in the case of awareness, you know that on April 12th, at the Neptune-Jupiter conjunction, I have told people through angelic channeling of Alexander, Linda, there was just a lot of people that were focused on it, Alexander Quinn. So on that date, if you were aware, and you should be, we got the surface level defeat of viruses and bacteria built into our genetic biochemical makeup through cosmic energy, but our DNA has released that capacity. So I was curious, viruses themselves certainly have traceability, but you can almost say recent, genetically recent, because it goes as far back as the the Anunnaki, the humans that fell to Earth as fallen but accelerated, and for whatever reason the dark side of them used their acceleration for the dark. That is the best way to put it. But that proclivity of the virus that came with it, the man-made element from that, is only, say 4,000 years old to be generally good. As if you want to push it to 5, it's okay, but when they crash landed into the Persian Gulf and from Abraham on to all the way around, and it's in the hands of XI right now, virus in Wuhan. So it made it that far. Bill Gates flipped it, Trump flipped it. It's all to that level. But back to Dolores Cannon and bacteria. So that's viruses. It's been defeated. Omicron, you name it, it's just done. Actually, it's a combination of decision making, surface level decision making, like you're not shooting me with anything anymore, so we demand it on the surface. And then, oh, by the way, inside, we got DNA awakened to beat it out of us. So if you've been afflicted, now's the time to accept that and just demand it be gone by invocation due to that conjunction, and viruses will be gone in your body, and don't pursue it anymore. So in the case of bacteria, you're going to find this, say at class, Dolores Cannon, interesting, because she told me, where'd bacteria come from? Now, I'm still trying to figure out when. So, we know that we were escorted here from Maldek, thank you Mark Zuckerberg, 800,000 years ago. So if you wish to use that as a start point, that's fine and dandy. But it sounds as though when we were moved here, nature was taking its course, so Gaia was in a stage of development back then. call it second to third density by cracky, and that's when we got kind of rolled into her glide path here on her second cycle. Divine fork in the road for us to participate in third density awareness. So, from somewhere, now this is the question, there was a meteor introduced and our planet got blasted with it. And as a result of that blast, it was like a big bacterial, biological thing that coated everything. So everything has bacteria from that occurrence. Probably before our introduction, like that's what we have to look at, because of the planet was already bacteria infected when we got blown up out of Maldek. That's sort of where I'm going with how we inherited our introduction onto Gaia's surface with bacteria introduced by an asteroid from somewhere. What kind of in the divine universe where consciousness lives, where did that meteor come from? We don't know. We forgive it because it's been fixed already. If you know what I'm talking about, on 12 April, with the conjunction of Jupiter and Neptune, or Jupiter and Jeptune. Not that. Whoop! So, let's get to Dolores Cannon so she can tell the story better than me. And be prepared to be stupefied. And please send this to Elon Musk. Come on, I'll almost take my headgear off, but I love this headgear. It's like World War I, World War II, and you could, this is like, oh, so much comes together. First of all, it's a hat that fits for you, sir. I ain't got no big head. Secondly, this is like a paper clip for headgear. You could do 7 things with this, and they'll say, boy, he looks okay. He looks like it's undergarment for putting on a knight's costume, which who the hell knows why you want to walk around with 79 extra pounds of, I don't know. I like the way Indians fight myself. I always was like, what the hell are we wearing a helmet for? I'm going to get freaking hit. I'm going to get hit. Move fast, man, and live it. That's my attitude. So anyway, let's talk with or allow Dolores to speak. My goodness, I've held her up so long. And Dr. Stephen Greer is kind of impressive, so we're going to give him some airtime too.
Even on this earth, apparently,
this
where
is
it
about
reaches a certain
technology
level
and weapons.
Of technology, but the society has not evolved spiritually to where that level of high technology can coexist peacefully in a way that is only used for peaceful purposes. So to the extent that humans have this proclivity to take every technology and turn it into a weapon,
we're fallen.
This is our
Azazel, Gadriel.
So the ETs are trying to get us to understand that this is not the path to be on. The path to be on is that of not only world peace, but universal peace. Because world peace would have been great in 1917 or 18 at the end of World War I. We're at a point now where we're being actively contacted by advanced civilizations all over the world. And so now we have to begin to think universally, not just globally. And that's a big leap, because a lot of people are still stuck in the 1800s. But we're at a point now where we're going to have to very quickly understand, and this may be one of the benefits of this whole disclosure, that we're not alone in the universe, and we have to begin to view ourselves not only as denizens of this planet, but denizens of the whole cosmos, the whole cosmic culture. I kind of view us as the last generation and the first generation. We're the last generation that can indulge in this kind of childish folly, and the first generation has established an entirely new, conscious, enlightened civilization.
They've been monitoring us since the beginning of time, and the abductions, they're very concerned about cancer, especially the increase in the cancer, what is the environment and the additives in our food? What are they doing to the physical body? They're very concerned about that. They're allowed to monitor us and to keep track of our bodies to see how we're doing. They are perfecting the bodies. They are changing the DNA. They want the bodies to be where there will be no disease and that we will never die. This was the original plan, what we were supposed to have been. When the species was developing and still in the development stage, they wanted it to be a perfect being. They said, give this beautiful planet a creature with intelligence and free will and see what he does with it. But it was supposed to be a creature who would never die and never get sick, the real Garden of Eden. But something happened that they didn't anticipate. This was a meteorite that hit the Earth during the developmental stage. And the meteorite contained a bacteria that the growing species couldn't accommodate. This created illness for the first time. And you know, I saw a special on Nova several years ago that said they've broken down the different types of life on Earth, bacteria, and everything else. Bacteria is the foreign component. But the original was to have a beautiful, perfect species. It didn't work out, and they said they had to go back to the board and report in the council and say, our experiment is ruined. And they said there was great sadness about this. Now what do we do? Do we scrub the whole project after eons of time developing?
Okay. Here's what I'm supposing. Because it's Dolores canon, her universal point of origin is from Andromeda. So she's got a special relationship with our Creator. She just does. Dolores canon is as important to Sophia past Orion as is any other woman that's ever incarnated on Earth. And Mary, our Mother Mary, and Mary Magdalene, and Isis, and Hathor, and Guan Yin would all say, yes, 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 yes. So because of that, and wherever I happen to fit in is just me reporting to you that she's already told us that the Area 51 highly intelligent bubbleheads of sorts, I'm not going to pinpoint it, let's say the ones that duped Elon Musk, if you want to go who's floating around out in Andromeda, and realize now that Dolores Cannon was in the midst of this and facilitated a catalyst for that bunch of planets to go positive and fix everything. So, I suggest that the source of this biological bacterial bomb was from Andromeda. Only because I could see that a very highly intellectual Sophia's watching this, and the dark side is saying, we're going to take a pot shot at Earth. And Dolores Cannon is like, she looks back at our Creator and says, you want to go ahead? Go ahead. I don't care about you. Whoop, boom, it hit. So everybody else is all concerned, and Dolores, she's already sort of knows I must be the case, because that woman's so special. She is the crystal. Okay.